Folks, I'm at Lake D'Arbonne today, and I have just attended a service, Sunday morning service at the chapel. And I'm going to say that if I had to, pick a title for the message, that it would have to be, "There's nothing you can do about it." How would you like to be in that shape? There's nothing you can do about it. I do believe that there are people today who believe there's nothing you can do about it. I know there is, because I heard the man preach it this morning. There's nothing you can do about it. God loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's pretty crafty, folks. That's pretty crafty. Yep. That's exactly as crafty as I've heard today. Today is April 1st. It is Easter Sunday. And I have been listening to some, songs on the radio today. And there are many songs. I mean, no telling how many songs there have been. And there's only one gospel according to a man named Paul. The man named Paul was not preaching this morning where I was. At least I didn't catch his name as being Paul. No. And his message was, there's nothing you can do about it. Well, folks, if God has, said something, there is nothing you can do about it. There's no doubt. Unless you can change God's mind. And God doesn't change his mind often. I am sure of that. I mean, if you have talked to God and tried to get him to change his mind, you should be aware of that. God does not change his mind very often. But he does and has, before changed his mind. And today is, some people call it Resurrection Sunday. Jesus of Nazareth was crucified, and God raised him from the dead. And there have been more things said than I can imagine concerning Jesus of Nazareth and his mission accomplished. And you say, well, Bob, what mission did he accomplish? Well, there was a man preaching that came out of the wilderness whose name was John. And his birth, the birth of this child was a real surprise to some folks, because Elizabeth was old, and Elizabeth was going to have a baby, and Elizabeth was going to name her baby John. That's the way it was, folks. If her husband was ever going to speak again, her child was going to be named John. And I heard this message today. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. The question I want to know is, was there anything you could have done about it that you didn't do about it? Well, there are people today, they just don't know about it. They have been lied to and told, everybody has been told, there's nothing you can do about it. God loves you no matter what. You think or do. God loves you. Folks, I wish I was April fooling, because, you know, the first day of April is called April Fool's Day. But how many people have been fooled by the false gospel? And the false gospel has got to have a little bit, just a little bit, just about that much of truth, because it's got to be distorted. It's got to be corrupted. It's got to be messed with by the devil. And I know people today don't believe there is a devil, but there is. And he preaches wonderful messages. I mean, the devil will preach you a message and you will feel so good. And then one day you'll find out, just like these people are going to find out, when they say, Lord, Lord. Lord, Lord, you know. Lord, Lord, you know. Lord, you know I heard that message about how you love me so much that you became a man and died for me. You took on flesh and walked amongst the people so that you could do something. Folks, the devil is a liar, and it's April Fool's Day. And I am afraid that I have to say, many people have believed the devil's lie. I may have even believed it before, but I will never believe it again. I won't do it. So, folks, if you hear the message today, there's nothing you can do about it. I hope you get to see this message, because there might be something that you need to do about it. And one thing that you definitely need to do is don't believe everybody that stands up and talks about Jesus.